Passengers on board two high-speed trains, which derailed in Spain last night, were catapulted through windows, with their bodies found hundreds of yards from the crash site, officials have said. Spain's Transport Minister Oscar Puente said the cause of the crash remains a mystery, calling the deadly collision a truly strange incident because the tracks had been renovated just last year. Police on Monday said at least 39 people are confirmed dead, while efforts to recover the bodies are continuing and the death toll is likely to rise. One of the train drivers is among those killed. The crash occurred on Sunday evening when the tail end of a train carrying some 300 passengers on the route from Malaga to the capital, Madrid, went off the rails at 7:45 p.m. It slammed into an incoming train traveling from Madrid to Huelva, another southern Spanish city, according to rail operator Adif. The head of the second train, which was carrying nearly 200 passengers, took the brunt of the impact, according to Puente. That collision knocked its first two carriages off the track and sent them plummeting down a 13-foot slope. Puente said that it appeared the largest number of the deaths occurred in those carriages. At the moment of the collisions, both trains were traveling at over 120 miles per hour, Sky News reports, citing sources from the Spanish Transport Ministry. The train which derailed first was speeding at about 130 miles per hour, while the second train that collided with it was traveling at roughly 127 miles per hour. The cause of the accident has not yet been established and follows sabotage attempts on a Polish railway track in November. The explosion on the Warsaw-Lublin line that connects the capital to the Ukrainian border was deemed an unprecedented act of sabotage by Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk. The incident last year followed a wave of arson, sabotage, and cyber attacks in Poland and other European countries. Spanish authorities said all the survivors had been rescued in the early morning, while work remained to recover and identify the dead. At least 48 people remain hospitalized, 4 of them children. Andalusia's regional president Jaume Moreno said on Monday morning that emergency services were still searching what he described as a mass of twisted metal where the smashed carriages had derailed. It is likely that there will be more dead people found. When you look at the mass of metal that is there, the firefighters have done a great job, but unfortunately, when they get the heavy machinery to lift the carriages, it is probable we will find more victims. Here at Ground Zero, when you look at this mass of twisted iron, you see the violence of the impact, Moreno said. He added that authorities are also searching the area near the accident for possible bodies. The impact was so incredibly violent that we have found bodies hundreds of meters away, which means that people were thrown through the windows, Moreno said. The collision took place near Ademuz, a town in the province of Córdoba, about 230 miles south of Madrid. Various Spaniards who had loved ones traveling on the trains posted messages on social media, saying they were unaccounted for and pleading for any information. Spain's Civil Guard opened an office in Córdoba, the nearest city to the crash, for family members of the missing to seek help and leave DNA samples to be used to possibly identify bodies. Video and photos showed twisted train cars lying on their sides under floodlights late on Sunday. Passengers reported climbing out of smashed windows, with some using emergency hammers to break the windows, according to Salvador Jimenez, a journalist for Spanish broadcaster RTV, who was on board one of the derailed trains. He told the network by phone Sunday that there was a moment when it felt like an earthquake, and the train had indeed derailed. Spanish police said 159 people were injured, of whom 5 were in critical condition. A further 24 were in serious condition, authorities said. A woman who survived the crash, named Anna, described the horrific ordeal. Speaking to a local broadcaster with bandages on her face, the teary woman told how she and her sister, originally from Malaga, were returning to the capital after visiting their family for the weekend when her train derailed. Some people were okay, but others were really, really bad, she said as she described the immediate aftermath of the crash. They were right next to me, and I knew they were dying, and they couldn't do anything. Anna also told how her sister remains in hospital with serious injuries, while their dog Burrow is missing. A sports center was turned into a makeshift hospital in Ademuz, and the Spanish Red Cross set up a help center offering assistance to emergency services and people seeking information. Members of the Civil Guard and Civil Defense worked on site throughout the night Transport Minister Puente said the cause of the crash was unknown. He called it a truly strange incident because it happened on a flat stretch of track that had been renovated in May. He also said the train that jumped the track was less than 4 years old. That train belonged to the private company Irio, while the second train, which took the brunt of the impact, was part of Spain's public train company, Renfe. According to Puente, the back part of first train derailed and crashed into the head of the other train. When asked by reporters how long an inquiry into the crash's cause could take, he said it could be a month. It comes after it emerged today that the Union for Spanish Train Drivers, SAMAF, had written a letter to train operator ADIF in August expressing concern over the state of certain high-speed rail lines. The letter, seen by Reuters, told how drivers had reported their concerns to the train operator daily, but no action was taken. Drivers also called for the reduction of the maximum speed limit to 155 miles per hour on damaged lines until the state of the rail network was improved. A train driver who regularly travels through the site of the crash said he was not surprised by the tragedy. Speaking to Spanish-speaking news outlet Infobae, the unnamed driver said the condition of the track is not good, expressing that a thorough review is really needed. The driver, who traveled on the affected tracks on Sunday, explained that drivers regularly encounter speed restrictions due to the frequency of potholes along the tracks. It's not normal to constantly encounter temporary speed restrictions due to defects in the turnouts or potholes in the track, he says. We've normalized the state of the high-speed rail lines, but it's not the most suitable condition. The driver also recalled hearing a strange noise while traveling on the track toward Madrid on Sunday, but didn't think much of it at the time. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez expressed his condolences to the victims' families. Tonight is a night of deep pain for our country, he wrote on X. The Prime Minister will visit the accident site on Monday, according to his office. A minute of silence was observed for the victims of the train crash today outside the steps of Spain's Congress and in the Adamas town hall. Spain has the largest rail network in Europe for trains moving over 155 miles per hour, with more than 1,900 miles of track. According to the European Union, the network is a popular, competitively priced, and safe mode of transport. Renfe said more than 25 million passengers took one of its high-speed trains in 2024. Train services on Monday between Madrid and cities in Andalusia were canceled. Spain's worst train accident this century occurred in 2013, when 80 people died after a train derailed in the country's northwest. An investigation concluded the train was traveling 111 miles per hour on a stretch with a 50 miles per hour speed limit when it left the tracks.